Good morning, Steve with Real Progressives, and I am doing my morning stroll from the parking garage over to the office building. And I'm just looking all over. I've been looking under cars, been looking all over the newspapers, been Google searching, been looking everywhere I possibly can to find me some transcripts. I can't find any transcripts. It's like I can't find anybody willing to write about transcripts. I can't find anybody to even ask questions about transcripts. Where are the damn transcripts? I lost track of the days since she said she'd look into it. But I think that it's kind of funny. We've got all these people getting paid tons and tons of money to be quote-unquote journalists and to cover the news for us and to represent us, and we can't find anything about transcripts. What the hell's wrong with us? Where are the transcripts? Anybody know where the transcripts are? Yeah, I can understand Clinton's reluctance at putting them out there, especially in light of WikiLeaks saying, hey, we got to keep the opinion pretty standard. We don't want any deviation. We don't want anybody to know what's going on. But how can the press not be pressing for Clinton's Wall Street, Goldman Sachs transcripts? All the so-called speeches she got paid $250,000 a pop for. How are we not able to get people to continue to press it? Why is that not front and center? You know, I just don't understand it. There's no investigative journalism. And unfortunately, most of the people that are trying to dig at the answers are stuck in these blogospheres with friggin' clickbait and pop-up ads and everything else that infect your computer with viruses and whatnot. Or they always have to infuse a bunch of conspiracy nonsense into it just to completely and utterly invalidate the entire story. You know, credibility is really key here. This should be pretty simple. It should be like a speech. It should be like, you know, a video of something. There should be something out there to show what Clinton said to Wall Street. Not that it'll matter to her own supporters. I don't suspect her supporters give a shit. I don't think her supporters know anything about politics. I think they just know how to go to high school football games and cheer for the blue team. But the rest of us have a right to know. If our president, the person they're trying to put in power, they're trying to install, we have a right to know whether or not she has sold us out. We have a right to know what her MO is. We have a right to know what we can expect from her when she's in front of Congress, when she's in a White House, when she's over in China, when she's somewhere else. Wherever she is, we have a right to know this stuff. It's very important. This is not like, hey, you know, do you wear thongs or do you wear, you know, granny underwear? What do you know, this isn't that kind of thing. This is legitimate, policy-based, public space. What do you believe when it comes to Wall Street? This entire election is about overthrowing the establishment. It's about trying to understand why Wall Street keeps winning and Main Street keeps losing. Yet we can't get copies of her transcripts. We can't even get the press to ask about her transcripts. So, what do you do? I mean, seriously, what do we do? How do we seize back control of our press? If nothing else, how can you have a functioning democracy without a literal press, without some form of press that is actually seeking answers and reporting truth? Why is no one out there criticizing her for that? You know, worse yet, let's take it to another level. I did a search on Google, and I know Google is not our friend, but I did a search on Google today for TPP. I was just looking up TPP. I wanted to find out more information, current information about TPP. And there were maybe 3 articles that sort of gave a negative spin on TPP, from Paul Ryan saying, hey, we don't have the votes. But every other article from CNBC on over, every single one of them was pro-TPP, about how Americans need to accept that this is a really good thing. And there's no journalism in America anymore whatsoever. I mean, literally whatsoever. So, you know, they even talk about, you know, how we are basically, being silly children because stopping TPP won't bring jobs back to America. They're absolutely right about that. Congress needs to spend money into the economy to bring jobs back. But that's another story in and of itself. I'm more worried about why the press is not pressing a presidential candidate for answers. Over and over again, all we get is Trump is bad. That's what they always fall back on. It's like a broken leg. Trump. Hey, what about this transcript? Trump. Hey, have you been feigning on the stage? Do you have some health issues? Trump. Did you hit your head and have problems now keeping your balance? Trump. What is your take on the TPP? Trump. Bad, bigot, Trump. We deserve answers, don't we? We deserve answers. And, every time I hear about, the Clint Arback stuff or Cliff Arnback stuff and the voter fraud, and he's like the only guy out there digging up for it. And you got to sift through so much conspiracy stuff just to get to the bottom of that. It's like over and over again, we can't just get the straight news. What happened to freedom of the press? Why are they so afraid to report truth? Is it about money? What is it about? Do they have a gun to these people's heads? Are they afraid to simply talk about what's going on in our country? Why can't we ever have truth in the media? I mean, I know we're boiled down to a handful of media agencies, but that doesn't explain it even. Are they completely bought and paid for? If so, what is up? Why can we not get truth in this country? I'm telling you, if we don't put pressure on them, we're going to be living in a true 1984 Orwellian nightmare. We probably already are. I mean, I know there's pieces of it. I don't want to sound like a hair on fire crazy pants dude, but I can't find any truth out there. What's the truth? Do you know what the truth is? All I know is there's no transparency in our government anymore. There's no transparency. There's no investigative journalism. Mother Jones is on the take. MSNBC's given up the ghost. CNN was always the Clinton News Network. So what do you got? Where do we go? To some blog? Okay, do they have entree into the dark recesses of the cabinets where policies are made? I doubt it. So where does truth come from? How do you get entree? The minute you start reporting truth, they block your access. They block your access to the White House. They block your access to the Senate. They block your access, period. People have to go under as anonymous sources or my sources tell me. We have no whistleblower protections in this country. That's why Snowden's in Russia. People can't tell the truth anymore. People are afraid to tell the truth. Afraid for their lives. They're afraid to take a stand. That's not good for America, folks. Her transcripts, that's just another symbol of the whole problem, right? We already know who and what she is. We already know what they probably said. We don't really even need them. It's just more of a dagger to show them, to tell people, see, I told you so. But the truth is we have no press. It's a propaganda machine. Leni Riefenstahl would frickin' blush. The propaganda is so thick. We need our press back, folks. We need to get rid of the NSA so they stop spying on the press so the press can actually do their job. We need to force press conferences from people if they're going to be in public office. We need to force some truth back into America. We deserve it. That's democracy. You can't make an informed decision if you don't know the truth. That's my message for the day, folks. I'm tired of digging for truth. I'm tired of piecemealing truth together from 100 sources, trying to find one nugget of gold, because they keep lying to us and they keep avoiding subjects that are of import to us. I don't know what to do. We just got to keep raising the issue and tell them we won't accept lies. But then again, we do. We do. I mean, seriously, all jokes aside, we really do accept our lies, and we take it just like it's a steak sub, man. We just, yummy lies. Because it's easier to fall in line and believe a lie than it is to constantly question authority, question what the truth is, ask questions, be a pain in the ass. It's a lot easier just to say, well, you know, I read this story and it said. And trust me, I question everything. I question our own people when they put these blogs out there and they put these totally incredulous stories out there with no substance or backup. They just sort of say things. I question our own team too. I question everyone. There's nothing I just believe. I don't run off and start conspiracy talk because I want to retain my credibility. But there's a flip side to that too. Not asking questions and staying stuck in the matrix is not an option. So let's make it happen, folks. We got to get truth back into America because there is none right now. This is Steve Grumb. I'm with Real Progressives, hoping you keep asking the tough questions.